welcome everybody. Glad you're here today in person as well as in our wonderful virtual audience. We finally get to come back after a very snowy couple of weeks. I wanted to share a land acknowledgement, gratitude, and so join me in appreciation and gratitude for the traditional territory of the Salish Coast tribes that we have the privilege of being on. We honor this land. We attempt, as part of our core values, to honor this land and care for it, and the people past, present, and future who were here and did the same. And we want to express gratitude for all of the inhabitants who, from traditional times to the present, have cared deeply for this beautiful campus that we have the privilege to walk on. Right now, I'd like to send you over to our wonderful band and enjoy the music.
Well, good morning, everyone. If you want to stand with us, if you're here in person, move your bodies a little bit. We'll sing into this day. I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today, I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today, all things are made brand new, and don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should. All is well, all is well, all is well. Even Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well and unfolding as it should. I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am love and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should. All is well, all is well, all is well. Even Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well and unfolding as it should. Let's sing all is well, all is well, all is well. Even Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well and unfolding as it should. All is well and unfolding as it should. We'll take a minute out there to greet some of those neighbors or say hello to us on social media. We have to strike the balance of, got to strike the balance of the virtual.
Sure, you do. Yeah.
Let's do it. Yep, my soul. Ready?
Oh, yep.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome here.
Well, my soul may be able to navigate really well after that beautiful music. Thank you. But my cord was all wrapped around that, so I didn't think I was going to have enough tether to get up here. But, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, Robin. Thank you. It is so good to see all of you here and for us to be together today. And I am Wanda Maddox, and your practitioner of the day. And I want to welcome you. As I was driving here, there was I had a moment where I had to wait because there were 3 deer gradually crossing in front, and I knew that they were going to where they knew they were going to get nourishment. And then I thought, well, that's where I'm going too. And I think all of you have come here for the same reason also. And I'm so glad that we are here together. So if you will join me in this prayer. Sunshine. What a joy to see it this morning. And I see it in every face. Every beautiful, wonderful, glorious face. Each one a unique expression of the one power, the one presence, the one beauty, the one peace, the one joy and light. All here today. Light up our world, lift all, everywhere on the planet, everywhere in the cosmos. The energy we are sharing, the energy we give, is the energy we receive. That is the truth. We know the truth, and we're so happy to be together to remember and remember and remember. I lift these words in the law, knowing that as they have been spoken, it is the truth, and so it is. Do I say something else?
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's error, let me love. May surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. Let's sing, I surrender. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love.
Thank you. We are so fortunate, aren't we, to have these guys? It's amazing. Thank you. So welcome again. We are in the year that celebrates the theme of grounded in spirit. Certainly something that I believe we need to be doing right now in this very interesting time we're living through. And this month, January, we chose as the monthly theme, Start Where You Are, which sounds sort of obvious, but often isn't. And so all month I'm going to be talking about that. And today's talk is a very weird title. I can only say that I created this title in the depths of the week that we celebrated a Sunday service, winter solstice, Christmas Eve candle lighting, and another Sunday service. And I was like, what do I say? What do I say? Sacred specialists. But I know what I meant. And it has to do with this quote. So don't glaze over on me, okay? This is the quote. I know sometimes when you hear a quote, you're like, thinking about something else. So every person is an individualized center of divine thought, and through each one of us, the original thinker finds a fresh starting point for its creative power to uniquely specialize. And that's where that came from, is this unique specialization that you and I actually are doing all the time, just not always very consciously. And so I also have been involved with a group of people who are anti-New Year's resolutions, but really pro deciding what your life, you would like in your life and moving forward in that. Anybody else? Yeah, resolutions are difficult to follow. They usually last statistically about 4 days. Um, so our group is working on a more consistent plan. But in the process, we talked a lot about something I'm sure you've heard of, SMART goals. Anybody? SMART goals. Okay, if you haven't, here they are, just in case. I'm not going to talk about them because I'm annoyed by them, but they really are effective. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And obviously, if you're setting goals for yourself, then SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, is a good pathway to follow. But I wondered if you knew about the spiritual pathway to really becoming a sacred specialist of the creative power that is coursing through you and moving with you all the time. I know I would like to do that more. And so I came to you with what are called the 3 C's, which I totally made up, okay? You won't find them anywhere else. So the 3 C's have to do with how to live a spiritual life and make an impact in your own personal development as well as the larger world that we live in. So the first C is clarity, or the ability to be clear. And the reason this is very important is if we don't actually have an understanding of what we want or where we would like to be or go, it's very difficult for the creative energy that is flowing through us to do anything other than what we often do, which is like, I don't know what I want. I don't know where to go. I don't know. And so the creative power that is coursing through us all the time goes, oh, they don't know. Okay, let's create confusion. And so a lot of us get very confused in this first part of our spiritual life. It's like, well, why does everybody keep telling me to be clear and to know what I want and where to go and all that? Because the creative power works best if we deliberately and consciously set a vision, even if it's a very, very, very small vision, and then with our understanding of how this creative power works, we can give instruction and it begins to manifest with that clarity. Now there's another C word that goes with clarity. It's called capacity. And this is something that trips people up sometimes, because although the creative power will flow through you as you and create anything out in front of you that you have deeply imagined and held to as a vision, one of the stumbling blocks for most of us is that I don't know what you call it. I call it monkey mind. Is the monkey mind part of our nature that likes to circle around any vision of clarity that we're getting and find reasons why that can't happen, you know? And it's a hoot when you can step far enough back. You're like, oh, this is silly. But if you aren't stepped far enough back, it seems very believable. And so the monkey mind is something that we all need to train ourselves to recognize and really with great love and respect bow to it and say, thank you very much for that warning. I'm going to go forward anyway. You know, thank you very much for that insight. I'm going to go forward anyway and just keep doing that. Why is this important? Well, it turns out that the creative power can only flow and course through us at the level that we believe. So belief sets the stage for how big the vision can unfold. So if I often use an analogy of standing under a waterfall, okay? So the coursing creative power that is through us and in us is always flowing, never runs dry, always there. But depending on what we bring to the waterfall, that's how much we get to experience the beauty of it. So if we bring a thimble and we hold it under the flow, most of it bounces out. Just we don't have a capacity to hold any of it much. But if we bring a bucket, well, we can hold so much that it's heavy to carry. But if we even brought more, like a hot tub, and stuck it under that, we could actually dip into it and sort of move around with it. And of course, the ultimate goal of the spiritual path is to be standing under the waterfall all the time. having it flow in us, through us, around us, and as us. So capacity has to do with what we're bringing to the creative power that lies within us and works through us. If we're bringing a small amount of belief that our vision is possible, that's what we'll get. Just straight up. So sad. I wish there was a way around this, because I sure have tried. But so far in the 40 plus years that I've been studying the spiritual path, capacity rules in terms of how your vision can unfold, how our vision can unfold. So clarity and capacity are the first. I cheated because there's really 4 C's, but capacity comes under clarity. The second C has to do with what's often called consciousness, or the conscious mind. And why is that important, and what do I mean by that? For me, having studied neuropsychology as part of my training and my presentation as a marriage and family therapist for years, the neuropsychology and what we're learning about the brain says this: 95% of our life is lived from the subconscious mind, from habit energy that we've created over time that runs the show most of the time. It's dropped below the level of our awareness. We just do it. It just does us, in a sense. It's like programs running on a computer that you count on, but also can sometimes screw you up because you don't know they're running. And then you have to do a defrag or somehow clean those up. Well, the conscious mind is the 5% that determines, honestly, what the 95% is going to do. And so we pin our understanding on the spiritual path to developing the conscious mind's capacity to be awake to what we want, to be awake to the unfolding of it, to be awake to allowing the clarity to continue to unfold, and to be awake to any of the habit energies and patterns that we may have established that would be an obstacle to the clear vision that we're seeking to bring about. So the conscious mind is infinitely more powerful, in essence, than the subconscious mind, because it determines the subconscious mind, as long as we're aware of that, and as long as we're making choices. And to give you an example of how difficult this is, I mentioned last week that Joe and I are on this anti-inflammatory diet thing. And I got to tell you, it has been the most difficult thing to do, not because it's difficult. It's lovely. And I haven't eaten this many vegetables in years. However, what's difficult is every morning I wake up and I want what I used to have. I want the worst. I'm not even going to tell you. I want, okay, peanut butter. I want peanut butter on toast. Not happening. I'm having flax granola every single day. So there's a part of my habit energy that wakes up with me in the morning and says, can't we just, like, one day, can't we please, And that's a small example of how habit energy runs. It's very uncomfortable for most of us when we begin to change and really allow the vision of what we want to be foremost, and we stay awake with it. What we'll notice is, without exception, even if it's something we truly desire, changing those habitual ways is uncomfortable. Just is. And so we have to be willing and able on the spiritual path to practice with discomfort. Now, if you have not read any of Pema Chodron's books, I really invite you, if you're in this stage of needing to practice with discomfort, I invite you to work with one of her books, because this is one of her messages from her path, is there's getting comfortable with discomfort is actually a tremendous spiritual gift and practice. And so it's part of what I talk about a lot too, because there's no way around it. If we're going to change and open to a greater life, that means we're going to hit the places that are so accustomed to running our life in a certain way, and now we're being told, no, we're not doing that anymore, that we're gonna meet our own resistance. It's silly, really. I was thinking about the people of the Bible and the earlier world for examples for these things. So with clarity, I actually came up with Joseph. And I don't know if you know the story of Joseph. He's the one that got the coat of many colors from his father. And his brothers were so jealous, they threw him into a pit and hoped he would die. Fortunately, I don't have a brother like that. But he was rescued. He was taken as a slave. He became one of the main people in the Pharaoh's court because he had the gift of divination, of dreams. And so while he was being a slave and then got imprisoned for something that he didn't do, he began to divine people's dreams. And the Pharaoh heard about it, and he became one of the main people in that time frame. He had a clarity about his gift and his willingness to share it. Likewise, here in our modern world, the one that I think really exemplifies this right now is Pope Francis, who has such a vision for our ability to work together and to understand our interdependence beyond religiosity into a larger frame so that we can take care of one another and the planet. So with conscious mind, who I chose was Moses. Moses happens to be one of my favorites because he has a lot of failings. And one of the things about Moses is when he was called to free his people from Pharaoh's rule, his first response was, "Me? Are you crazy?" Basically. He said, no, you don't want me. You don't want me. Why don't you do my brother? Another brother story. And so he was very uncomfortable with the role that he had been called to. And yet he was willing to continue with his conscious mind to work with the discomfort and move forward and listen deeply to what was to be. It was an amazing example of that. So the last C is consistent. Consistent. And a long time ago, I heard that we really need to translate discipline into becoming a disciple to our greatest dreams and hopes. So becoming a disciple to ourselves and our deep understanding. And that's been very helpful because if you hear the word consistent and then you go immediately to, oh no, this is like going to the gym 5 days a week or something. No, it's really about a deeper thing that this particular part of the 3 C's has to do with. What it has to do with is consistently staying awake to the vision and the idea that you're working with, not letting it go, not sort of falling asleep. Rumi has a very famous poem that says, people are crossing between the two worlds, meaning spiritual understanding and mundane understanding. Don't go back to sleep, meaning don't allow the habit energies, the mundane, the daily, to rob you of your focus. And so to do that, we have to really begin to ask ourselves, well, what are we doing actually? Besides imagining and holding a vision and really investing ourselves in it, what are we really doing? And for me, what I think we're doing is we're living from our highest ideals, our deepest virtues and values. Whenever we craft a vision, almost without exception, it has to do with something that's deeply important to us, that we're really longing to express or experience in our lives. And so becoming a disciple to that integrity of being is really a powerful spiritual practice. And for me, it is, how I live, as ideally, as much of the time as possible. I'm checking in with my values, my integrity. What am I doing? Is this in line? So that I'm moving forward from that wholeness, because integrity really, the root word has to do with wholeness. So when we become consistent in trusting the vision that we've crafted, and we hold it with a great deal of clarity, and we move with it in a very conscious, awakened way, as we do that and we then bring our integrity, our wholeness to bear, and we don't fall back asleep, we keep working with it, amazing things begin to unfold. And I'll tell you, I came up with two people for this one as well. I came up with Gandhi because I watched the Gandhi movie 11 times. I don't know about you. We used to show it at our meditation retreats every year because it was so gripping and so important to really understand what it took for Gandhi to essentially liberate India from British rule. And what he was doing was following his wholeness, his integrity, his understanding at a deep level of who he was, who sacred humans were, and what they should and could experience as a society. And so he kept on, he kept on, he kept on. And it helped that he was really smart, you know. There's one scene in the movie, and I fact-checked it, it's actually what happened early on in his career when he was giving a talk, and of course the word had gotten out that this was a radical revolutionary thing, so the government was not happy in South Africa. And so government officials showed up at this talk, as well as all of Gandhi's supporters. And the first thing that Gandhi did after welcoming everybody was have everybody stand for the national anthem, which meant everybody stood, which was a very powerful, unifying, and slightly brilliant way of pointing out that this was not against anything, but rather for something. So he's a very wonderful person to focus on if we're wobbly in any way, or we take a nap. Maybe we don't go fully back to sleep, but maybe that monkey mind gets into this last one and says, you know, you've been doing this for 4 days. Come on, it hasn't happened, you know. That's when we can remember people like Gandhi. And the most recent example that I chose, there's lots of examples of people who are very consistently living from their truth and bringing it forward and speaking to it and honoring it and bringing their vision forth no matter what anybody else says. That is one of the tricky parts about this one, is your integrity might not match someone else's. I think in a very real sense what's happening in our culture is the divisiveness that we're experiencing is we're kind of not matching, or at least we're not matching as much as we thought we did. So the other person I chose was John Lewis, and you know, who recently passed away. But John Lewis was a compadre of Martin Luther King Jr. And yet the story I want to tell you is from his childhood, because John was the son of very impoverished people and had a number of siblings. And the expectation was that after you had gone to a certain amount of elementary school, you were no longer going to be going and you were going to be helping out, you know. And so the days came when John's father was like, okay, you're done now. And what happened to John was he would literally hide and then run and catch the school bus and go to school anyway. Or he would do work and then he would go to the library, you know. And so there was this vision for his own life that he was carrying, this integrity of vision and knowing, and backed up by a discipline that as he grew as an individual became a way of being for him. And so of course eventually he ended up in the Senate, and if you listen to any of his talks, they're straight out of this awakened vision that he kept consistently inviting himself into, and other people as well. An amazing man, really. So we can be like that. We don't have to be famous, thank God. Not all of us want to be famous, you know, but we can be famously ourselves. And that's the point, is if we really bring forward clarity and develop our capacity for that clarity, and then we bring our conscious mind to bear on what it is that we're seeking to allow the creative power to move with in us. And then we bring a consistency to our practice of seeing it, knowing it, and living from the expectancy of it amazing things begin to happen. So one last thing and I'll close. For many people, the actual stumbling block is not monkey mind. It's not even habit energy. It's, bad word came, not a swear word, but okay, sloth is what came. But let me talk about that for just a minute. It's not really a laziness, a slothfulness that I think is the biggest stumbling block, but rather an uncertainty of, are we valuable enough to actually allow a vision for our life to show up? For many of us, we grew up being given messages from all sorts of places that we really weren't valuable, that we weren't lovable, that we weren't capable in some capacities, all of which is certainly not true. But it's a habitual way of thinking, and it can really stop this whole thing. The 3 C's can't happen unless you're willing to believe that you are a sacred specialist of the divine power that is moving through you, and that not only do you have value, the divine power is counting on you for its own unique expression through you. You're incredibly valuable. And if no one's told you that lately, consider yourself informed. And please join me in a closing prayer. There is one infinite divine power that is flowing through all things and flowing in every sacred human. This divine power is creative by its very nature. It has literally brought all things into being, and it continues to utilize its ability to bring forth new life, new understanding, new vision through each one of us. And so as I recognize that fact, I realize that I have been designated as Spirit's sacred specialist, someone that takes the earth of my own living life and transforms out of that a new idea, a new way for a sacred human to walk in the world. Mine is different than yours. Yours is different than hers or his or theirs. Nonetheless, the creative power that dwells within us is eager, willing, and open to turning our deeply held dreams, aspirations, and ideas into concrete experience. So what are we waiting for? I accept for you, and I know for myself, that this is the truth. And so I carefully, clearly choose in every day how I would like to be experiencing and expressing life from this day forward. I remain awake and consistent in this clarity of vision, understanding, and acceptance. And incredible things begin to happen in my life, small and big. And for this, I am deeply grateful for your unfolding and mine. And say with me together, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Well, as our band joins us, we're going to invite you to make a donation to the center if you would like. I know many of you are regular donors that tithe through the mail or through our different ways you can give. And those in the virtual audience, well, you're invited to donate too. We have a donate button on our website. We'd love you to support the work that's happening here. So let's have some music while we're doing that wonderful gift.
Joy, joy, I still got joy. Joy, joy, I still got joy. Joy, joy, I still got joy. After all I've been through, I still got joy. Faith, 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 I still got faith. Faith, faith, I still got faith. Faith, faith, I still got faith. After all I've been through, I still got faith. And love, 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 I still got love. Love, love, I still got love. Love, love, I still got love. After all I've been through, I still got love. Peace, 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 I still got peace. joy.
Yeah. There's a wonderful meme going around social media. It goes like this. It's said that misery loves company, and so does joy. Joy throws better parties. We might as well really do that. We have a couple of wonderful things happening. Today, the men's group is meeting, and they're meeting virtually as well as in person. And so if you're listening and you would like to join, feel free. It starts at noon and goes to about 1:30. And if you're here and you'd like to stay, by all means, do that. Next week, we have our women's circle. Same thing, starts at noon, goes for an hour and a half. And it's also a hybrid offering, which means Zoom as well as in person. And the women are concentrating on start where you are. So you're invited to come. We also have for you just a delightful set of workshops that are free, that are going to be happening regularly-ish through the next 2 months. And they're offered by the practitioners, and they have to do with a tradition in the science of mind philosophy, which is to offer people the understanding of what the science of mind is and the core foundational beliefs, and invite them into questions and interaction with that. So the practitioners have put together workshop 1, which is about spirit and what do we mean by spirit, and that's happening on Sunday, January 23rd. These workshops all go from noon, and so you're invited to be a part of it. And are these hybrid, Philip? They are. They're hybrid. So you can stay and be a part of things, or you can join us by Zoom. The second workshop is the week following. It's called The Way Things Work, and it has to do with what I was talking about today, about how do we allow the creative power that's flowing and coursing through us actually to manifest through us in very good ways. And then the third workshop on February 6th, the following week, has to do with how it does what it does through us. So a really nice set, and then there'll be 2 more workshops later in February, and we'll tell you more about those as they go. We put out really kind of in a general sort of way that the women's retreat was indeed going to be meeting, that there was some information that self-identified women needed to know, which is Whitby Institute requires proof of vaccination or a negative laboratory test, and they also are going to be doing rapid testing when we arrive. And they also are requiring masks everywhere except outside, and that'll depend on the variant. We might even need to wear masks outside. So with those parameters, I just mentioned that this retreat was going to be focused on the work of Mary Oliver, the incredible poet that many of you know her work. So the retreat has 2 spaces left. So if you would like to come, I really encourage you, whether you're from afar or near, to register. You can do that, I believe, on our website. And so register and let us know. We may be able to open some camping spots. If you are a camper, that would open the retreat a little bit more. But obviously we're doing limited numbers of folks to also keep us all safe. So wanted you to know, and we finally have the title. We knew we were doing Mary Oliver. We didn't know the title. So this is the title for the women's retreat, Your One Wild and Precious Life. So it'll be lovely. Also, just so you know, not this week, but the following week from Monday through Friday, the office is going to be closed. Our dear Clara, our administrator, her goddaughter is getting married in Texas, and so she's off to a wedding, and I am leading the pre-conference retreat at the annual CSL conference, which is wonderfully in Palm Springs. So we'll be gone. So if you have things that are needing to happen, maybe call us this week and let us know. Don't forget that we have all these incredible practices that we are offering to you via Zoom. Look them up online if you would like. But right now, I'd like to send us out of here with some wonderful music.
All right, well, let's sing out into this day. Fill me up. for the sun that warms this body, for the earth that we call home, for the love that knows no boundary. I am thankful for the trees that line the mountains, for the sea and life it holds, for the source of inspiration. I am thankful. Love, light, life, fill me up. Peace, power, beauty, joy, fill me up. For the one infinite, divine that is and never was, I am thankful. I am thankful. Love and light, love, light, life, fill me up. Clap, clap, clap. Peace, power, beauty, joy, fill me up. For the one infinite, divine that is and never was, I am thankful. I am thankful for the sun that warms this body, for the earth that we call home, for the love that knows no boundaries. I am thankful. You all have a blessed week. We'll see you again soon. 1, 2, ready.